Okay guys, welcome back to my channel once again, and on today's video I'm just going to be showing you how I mark out and get my high probability trade on the chart. So today is Monday, September 23, 2023, and we're just going to be analyzing this other pair, GBP USDT. Sorry, I'm used to the crypto pairs. So we're going to be analyzing GBP USD, and I'm going to be showing you my process on how I identify high probability trades, like a high winning trade in the market using F I call this fair value gap, liquidity, and market structure as a whole. So this is how I just write it out so that whenever I'm going into my chart, I'll be seeing it and I'll know exactly what I'm looking for in the market. So just the way I love to carry out my analysis, I love to go with the higher time frame so that I'll really know what the market is doing on the higher time frame. So here we are, we just go to the 1 month. Let's start this analysis using the 1 month chart, and we're just going to see what the market is actually doing on the 1 month period. So we're just basically going to start the analysis starting from the 1 month. Now, as you can see at this point, you all know market structure, guys. If you haven't know about market structure, you just watch some of my videos in my channel. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe. I drop quality content on how to become a very good technical analyst. So we just go to the 1 month over here and want to have a long-term view perspective on the market so that we know exactly what we're doing. And as you can see over here, the market has created us market structure first, series of higher highs, higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Another lower low is on the creation, as you can see at this point. So what we're going to do is that even on this higher time frame, let's start marking out our zones from the higher time frame. As you can see, we have this low here. It's been dragged a little, not completely dragged. We have one low here, lower high, and we have this other zone which created this is a low which created this high over here. Then we have this low. This low is not yet fully valid because we haven't seen a valid break at this zone, but we're still anticipating the market to drop further. So why am I anticipating the market to drop further? After we saw this lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, the market came up here. Now, if you look at this zone, the market came up here. There's a pointer here. It took out that liquidity even on the 1 month. It took out the liquidity there. It sold back down and take out this liquidity, with the market for straight again. And this time the target was this double top over here. I told you, if you watch my last video, you know how I told you about these zones where we have double top and liquidity line. So as you can see, the market came down to drag out. So there's a liquidity at this point and which the market came back to drag before selling. So as you can see, oh, this is too big. Let me reduce it further. I really don't want my videos to be long, so I'll just try to be as fast and brief as possible. If I just the video will be valuable, so it just depends on what you want, what you're looking at. If you're serious to take your trading to the next journey, then I think you have more patience to wait and watch it till the end. So the market took out liquidity at this point and it started selling. Now, this liquidity that is being taken out, it's telling us that the market now is going back to drag this liquidity at the downside, which is already doing so. But we're still expecting, since we're basically on a downtrend, we're still expecting the market to go further down and drag out the liquidity properly. So this is our analysis on the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, sorry guys, on the 1 month. So this is a 1 month chart. So this would be our analysis on the 1 month, and we are anticipating a sell. We'll go to the 1 week, the weekly time frame, to see how the weekly time frame can also help us with more in-depth analysis. So here on the weekly time frame, we saw that the market took out this liquidity here. It's fudged a lot. It came back and we have liquidity lying here, and so the market will always take out liquidity as it goes. Any time frame, the market always take out liquidity. So we saw this little zone here. Market played around, came back and take out the liquidity here. Let me, so it don't since I'm just talking too much. I guess the market came around this zone over here to take out that liquidity again before selling further down. So as you can see, so you're not seeing it clearly because this is on the 1 week. So but if you go to the higher time, you will see the liquidity graph more clearly. So the market took out liquidity on the 1 week, and we started seeing another sell at this point over again. So we're still expecting the market at this point to sell. And the markets, there's liquidity everywhere. There's liquidity everywhere in the market, but you just want to open your eyes to see the recent liquidity, just the way the market is grabbing it over. So we saw this happen here, and we have this zone at this point here. Let me draw this. Let me do this. Let me draw this a bit further. So if you can see this very strong low at this zone here, the market came down to drag the liquidity. And now we are on the 1 week. We're just dipping in further, so we have um a good technical analysis to work by, and we don't just gamble in the market using our money. So where's my two? I'll pick this out, and I saw that the market created another low at this point, which the market came back to drag. So as you can see, the market get, and this is a fair value gap over here. The market came back to fill this value gap at this point over here, obey this OB, then it came back now to drag down this liquidity in which we have here. So you see how everything is working in place. After dragging out this liquidity in which we have, now you notice that we now have a new low again in this point, and still on the 1 week we now have a new low at this point. I don't know why this big tool is just popping up always. So we now have a new low at this point over here. What I'm actually dishing to you guys worth thousands of dollars. So you guys just pay very close attention. After taking out this liquidity over here, which is the less liquidity, it took out the liquidity. Then the next target is this liquidity in which you see at the top here. So you see that the market already created some form of liquidity here before it going down to take out this last liquidity in which we have at this point. So now the market is going back to grab all of the liquidity, and we still have a fair value gap at this point in time. So you see that around this zone over here, we had a fair value gap and an OB, which the market came back to respect. So after respecting this OB and fair value gap and taking out the liquidity, little liquidity in which we have here, it respected that zone again and drive down to take out this last liquidity. So now the next low in which we have is this zone over here. As long as the market is still selling, it will definitely come back to take out this low in which we have here, because overall we checked the 1 month and we saw that we were on a downtrending market. So you see that we now have a downside liquidity over here. Then the market took out this previous liquidity. Then it went back to target the upside liquidity. Where's the upside liquidity in this point over here? So we now see that. So we're still on a 1 week. Let me go back to the daily. Let me go to the daily so that we'll see it more clearly again. So we're now here on the daily, and we're still having more clue and we're having more idea on what the market is actually doing. So coming down to the daily, we now have our zones on the 1 week. We have buyers on the 1 month, 1 week, and now we're on the daily. So we saw this liquidity take out, went up, take out this side liquidity, it came down again. Then where is the next liquidity in which we have at this point? If we're to zoom in this way, okay, so you notice that we now have liquidity also lying at this point over here, which created this. After this big pump, we saw this double top over here before the market sold down. So there's a liquidity at this point, and we expect the market to grab that liquidity and sell back. Liquidity, we have a fair value gap also at this point. So I'm just going to be explaining briefly, guys. Don't mind me if I'm just too fast. I'm sorry for that. This is YouTube. I can't do hours on this place. So we have the market now went up, take out this liquidity, and it should respect this OB before selling down again. And this is on the daily time frame. So what are we expecting now from the market using all of the 1 month, 1 week, and 1 day analysis? We're expecting the market now to go back down, and we're going to be seeing maybe some good amount of sell in GBP USDT coming so far. So we now see this sell at this point over here We saw this sell at this point over here. We saw the market respect this OB, fill up this in fair value gap, and the market is dropping. So this is how we just analyze the market and follow it to do what it's doing. And we can't enter. Like basically, I'm a day trader, so I can't enter in the 1 day time frame. I'm just using it to go down, down, down to see what the market is doing so that I'll pick point my entry and get valid trade as well. So I'm this point now. I now see something again. As you can see, the market took out liquidity at this point, took out liquidity, still respect the structure, went up again, fill out this OB on the 1 day time frame, and it sold down. Now, this is a good market structure breakdown from this side. We can now see that the market broke from this side. But even before then, this is a 1 day, and you don't want to wait for days before like you are looking for this sell. You don't want to wait for days. But this is just a clue that you still find more sales in the market even at this point. So let me just make this more explanatory. So let me just go to the 4 hours and just show you how you could be able to start breaking down your analysis on this place, on this chart in which we have over here. So now looking at all of our time frame, we're expecting a okay, so we are now at the 4 hour time frame now. So let me just use my now something I do tell my inner cycle is that once you want to analyze a trade, as you can see, today is Monday, September 2023. And for some traders, if they just come into the chart and they want to start analyzing, they mostly just start their analysis from this point. So they just start to make analysis from this point, like what's really happening here. And I really don't advise my inner student to do this. I always advise my inner student, my inner cycles, that if you want to start your analysis, once you open the chart and you want to start your analysis, just start like from way back. Start from way back and observe how the flow of the market has been going so that you just flow alongside with it. Because if you're just trying to just like start your analysis from this part, you are likely to make a mistake. So what I'll do is that I'll just go back in time to see how the market has been coming so far, and I'll use it to make my decision making. So let's just start from this zone over here. And I don't use 4 hours to trade. I mostly use 15 minutes or 5 minutes. So I'm just going to be going to the 15 minutes where I do pick my entries from. So let's just go back in time to 15 minutes. And as you can see, yeah, the 15 minutes is also working alongside with our bias. So this zone that I mark here was our initial 1 day bias and on OB, order block, I mean, if you don't know what OB is. So as you can see, the market respected that zone on the daily and is also selling. So what are we looking for at this point? We're looking for sales. All our confluence is giving us a sell trade. So we don't want to just, we want to flow with what our confluence is giving us. So let me just play this market a bit to see what it's currently doing, because all we are looking for right now is sell. And if I'm to see this market, I see this zone over here. This zone, as you can see, the market created a low. It created this low over here, created a lower low, lower low, lower high, and lower low. This is a new low in which the market creates at this point here. So what we'll do is that this point now is a very strong zone. This is a very strong zone. We'll mark it out. Mark this zone out. It's a very strong zone. It's a low and it's also a very strong zone. And we also have a on field, as you see this long candlestick here. This is money print. This is how is it called? The institutional money print they call it, or but I just see this as a fair value gap. So I'm expecting the market to come take out this liquidity, which is one confluence, and fill out this zone in which we have here. This candlestick, it should come and fill out this zone here, which is my second confluence. So I'll be marking that zone out as well. So I'm seeing two things here. The market should come out, take out the liquidity we have, and respect the zone over here, fill this gap. So I'll be looking to taking an entry from this zone now, and I'll be targeting the low of this market. So let's just see. Let me bring in my short too, and let's just see how it plays out here. You just see how it plays out here. My stop loss is going to be here, and my take profit will definitely be at this low over here. Not quite much a trade, I think 1 to 2 or so. Let me just zoom this out so that you see it clearly. So mostly I love to do 1 to 3 trade, but for this example, we're just going to be working with what the market is giving us. So let me just make this replay to a little bit more faster, 3x, so that we can see what the market is doing. And pardon me, I don't really mind to take up your time. I don't really mind to take up your time creating my videos. I don't like my videos to be boring, but I just have to do this so that you'll be able to get the clear picture. I just have to replay and redo so you'll be able to get the clear picture and understand what we are really doing in the market. Okay, I saw the market create another low at this point, giving me another zone, good take profit zone. So I'll be dragging my take profit now to that low. And you guys, you have to be patient. Like, I can't emphasize more on this. You have to be really patient. That zone you mark out, you have to be patient to just wait for it to mark out, to work out. The market is currently bearish, and this is a very strong zone. Like, this would be my high probability setup if I'm to take this trade. This would be my high. I don't think I take this. I think I take this trade. Maybe I probably took this trade. So this would be a high probability setup. You can still catch, if you're a scalper, you can still catch trade around all of this section using 1 minute, 3 minutes. I teach all of this in my inner cycles also. I teach this to my inner cycle. If you want to join my premium course, I'll drop the link in the description box below. But if you are looking for high trade, this would be it. And this might fail sometimes, but this would be a high valued trade. To be a high value trade. So let me just shift this a little bit. It might take some time to play out, and like, I'm not the market maker, though it might just take stop loss as well. You just want to really have your risks gauged to what you can afford to lose in a particular point in trade. So if you see this trade is 1.27, a good trade if it plays out. Close to 1:3. Okay, it tapped in, took out liquidity. Oh, okay. It took out liquidity, went to fill out those places, the gap in which we have. And I think this is soaking profit. This should hit our TP. Okay, this is a good trade. Let me pause this. Now, as you can see over here, we took TP. And if you watch the video, I dropped a video, is it yesterday or day before yesterday, about where I show you how I trade on EU, and this is JP, GBP, USD. And if you notice, it's all the same setup, and it works really well. So this would be our TP, and from this point is where we now know what we are going to do again. So we'll follow the setup alongside as it works. Let's see what the market gives to us again. Maybe we'll have another zone to take another trade. Let's see, maybe we'll have another zone to take another trade. If I'm to take this trade, you can see we have liquidity. If I go down to a shorter time frame, you have to be open your eyes to this. We have liquidity. If I go to, let's say, 5 minutes, you can see that after the break of this zone, we have liquidity lying here. So this is just for people that want to trade shorter time frame. We have liquidity lying here. You can also take advantage of this again to just, once the market take out liquidity, you come back again and take out. But let's just stick to the 15 minutes and see how the market plays out. So let's just wait for high quality trades. I think this is a bit slow. Let me change it to 10x so I don't waste your time that much. Let's just see how the market plays out and where we could get another entry. I don't know why this thing is slow, and I changed it to 10x, but it's still slow. Okay, I think it's the market. Okay, guys. I believe you're catching some value in my videos now. Just do ensure to give that like, smash that like button. That is the only thing you could do for me right now. Smash that like button, support the channel. So as you can see here, we have some pool of liquidity also forming in this market. Let's see how it plays out. Wow, let me pause this. Let me pause this. Play. Wait. I'm seeing an entry point here. Seeing an entry point here. 0.01. Now look at what happened here. This was the liquidity that the market took. Then it created a new low. Took out liquidity in the upside, came down to create a new low. Now, if you go to the 1 minute or 3 minutes, you will see that there's a good liquidity at this point over here, which is a good structure. It took out the low, went back to took out the liquidity at that point, and it sold again to create another low here. After I create this little low here, it went back, give us a bounce, then it sold again. Now, this is to tell you that if the market is reversing, this liquidity here is no more very strong because it took out this trade over here. It already went back to took out this liquidity here and it created this low. So this will be the now strong valued liquidity at this point. You mark it out again. You mark it out again at this point. So once the market is retracing, you are looking for the market to take out this liquidity, which is almost like a double top at this zone. Let me mark it out so you see it clearly. Looking forward to the market to take out this zone over here before we have another sell. So if I'm looking for a sell, I'll be looking for a sell once the market take out this liquidity. So let's just use the short two again. Short two. We're going to follow this market down, down, down till when we have a valid signal for the week. So I'm just going to draw this down again, and once the market take out that low, we'll be looking for. Now, this is a good trade if it plays out in our favor. 1 to 3 ratio 8. This is a good trade. Then I'm just going to play it out and see what happened. Let's see what happened if the market works in our favor or play it out. Now, what I mostly do is that I mostly journal my trade. That's why I see I have a very vast knowledge of how the market works. And I use Notion for this as well. Let me play this so I don't waste your time, guys. I teach all of those to my inner students if you want to sign up for that. So let's just see. Let's just see. Okay. Okay. The market don't want to take us out. The market don't want to talk out that liquidity, but we have a good amount of liquidity lying there. If you did not trigger, I will just let the trade be. So you don't force yourself into any trade. You don't have to force yourself into any trade whatsoever at all. If the trade did not play out, good and fine. Just let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Okay, we saw that it took out liquidity. It played out. It should play out. It should play out. Down to take profit. Ooh. Down to take profit, I guess. So now this is the low. So you just walk in and out of what the market is doing. This would be the low. And I'm not doing magic here. You can go and backtest it. Backtest it, use it over and over again and see. So this is the low. Our anticipation now is before we look for another sell till that low get taken out. Before we look for any sell opportunity, we want to wait for that low to get to be very long. And this is just trading, guys. Sometimes you just have to be patient. Like, you just have to be real patient. Because right now, after this TP is being hit, I'm not seeing any setup here. Before I see setup, I want this low to get taken out well enough, or this high to get taken out well enough. Then I'll know that, okay, if this liquidity, upside liquidity get taken out, I'll say, okay, maybe there's a change in market structure, and I'll look for sell buyers, buy buyers. But if it's this one that get taken out, then I'll be looking for a sell buyers as well. So patience is key. We went back to our entry, I guess. Went back to our entry and play. The price is just consolidating at this point. I by now you should have gotten the whole point, but I just want to do this so that we get to the initial point where the okay, I saw liquidity now taken out. I saw liquidity being grabbed. Like this zone now is being cleared again. I think just with little peeps. This one is being cleared. Okay, the market is selling. So that is it. You saw that the market, that zone is being cleared now. That zone is being cleared now. And if you look at this market, what do we have? Liquidity taken at this point, valid. This is the next low. This is where, let's see, let's have to be sure. Wait, and play this market at this point. So I have to be sure what I'm looking for again in this market. Now I have my liquidity taken out here. It didn't flush out the liquidity to the upside, but we saw the liquidity at the downside get flushed out. So where's my zone now? This is the high. You could consider this liquidity zone at the high. This would be the high. Then this would be the low. This would be the low of this market. So we'll be waiting for once it reverse. I don't know, maybe it's finished reversing. But we now have a valid high, which is here. And where's the liquidity? We have liquidity line here. We saw the market give us a lower low at this point, lower high, lower low, created another low at this point. So the breakout happened from here. From this zone, we have a breakout happened from here. Where's our liquidity line? I think I'm using too much tools to get you guys confused. Let me take this out. So we now have this market break of structure. Where's the stop loss in this trade? If you had to consider, just as I told you in the previous video, you know that we have people that are now selling. They saw this break of structure. They will have rotated their trade around this zone. So this would be where we have a bulk of liquidity. But if I'm to enter, I'll just protect my stop loss up to this zone. So what we are going to do now, we'll just mark out this zone as well as the liquidity point. Now you could just want to put your stop loss to the upside, because sometimes market would always be market, and it might just come to play around all of this zone. So I'll just put my sell. I'm taking this stop now. I'll just put my sell here, and my TP would be at the low. My TP would be at the low of this section over here. So I'll just play to see how the trade goes up. This will be a 1 to 3 to protect the top zone, and I just want to take it up to here, so I'll protect the zone. I'm expecting this liquidity to get taken out, and probably this one before we have a sell. This liquidity is already taken out, so it isn't valid. So play. Let us see how the market works again and play. Okay. So this is how you just basically follow the market. Um, this is how you just follow the market step by step. You just know how it plays out. Definitely. Sorry for the background noise though. So as you can see, we tapped into this trade. We tapped into this trade. It took out the liquidity. Great, respect the zone. It took out the liquidity here. Let me just draw it a bit. It took out the liquidity. And once you get tapped into a trade, you just have to wait for the trade to play out. It's either it take profit or it just hit you on SL. So that is it. I bet this trade will also go in profit. So you just also mark out that zone in which we have at this point, which would be your take profit, and this would be the zone that will give you another clearance to what you want to do in the market once it gets broken out. So if you are really not understanding this, the whole of the video, I just created a more in-depth video in my course where I'll be able to take up my time to explain more on how the strategies work. So as you can see now, we have that zone, took out profit, and the liquidity in the downside has been cleared as well. So let's just wait for the market to just play around again, and it will give us maybe a valid zone in which we could pinch in our tent again for another sell. So I'm seeing something over here, over here, over here. Now, as we can see, let's come down again back to our analysis. We now saw that the market broke out. Choop, choop. After I broke out the zone, we saw a double top here. So let me just play these so that we can keep flowing with the market. Keep flowing with the market. This is a double top, and this would be a strong zone for us to take a sell. This will be another strong zone for us to take a sell. Once the market retraces back to this zone, we should see a sell. So what's my short two? This is my short two. And I'll be pinching for a sell here. And the come down to take out the zone as well. Protect my stop down to the section over here. And we'll see how the trade plays out. I don't know. Some trade might trigger, some trade might not trigger. But you just want to have a rule based strategy. Like you want to have a pure rule based strategy in your trading methodology. You want to have a pure rule based strategy. And this video is definitely getting long. Like this video is getting long.